TV tonight. Now, cabinet secretaries' defiance of calls to desist from political campaigns and their public endorsement of President William Ruto's re-election bid, alongside government-allied aspirants in the November by-elections, has drawn sharp criticism from the opposition, lawyers and public policy experts. They warn this amounts to a contravention of the law, even as opinions remain divided on the interpretation of the Constitution and recent court rulings. NTV's Laban Shaban interrogates on politics and power.
Following the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission scheduling of 24 by-elections for November 2025, including one Senate seat in Baringo, 6 National Assembly seats, and 17 County Assembly seats across the country, state officers have been itching for the microphone. The upcoming by-elections, seen as a test ahead of the 2027 polls, have seen cabinet secretaries intensify their political engagements, openly embracing partisanship, ostensibly to tame the surging Gachagua wave and the challenge posed by the united opposition outfit. Among those under heavy criticism are Health CS Aden Duale, Public Service CS Geoffrey Ruku, and Land CS Alice Wahome.
Nataka tuambie Aden Duale na mawaziri wengine na pia Speaker wa National Assembly Moses Wetangula, ambaye anafaa kuendeleza maswala ya bunge bila mapendeleo, kwamba hawafai kuzungumzia siasa, wachape kazi.
According to the Constitution, a cabinet secretary is classified as a state officer under Article 260, and Article 77 bars state officers from engaging in political activity apart from voting. But that position was tested in court, and the Supreme Court took a different view. In its 2017 presidential petition ruling, the Supreme Court held that cabinet secretaries are exempt from general prohibition on state officers engaging in political activity, noting that they are political appointees who serve at the pleasure of the president.
It's an issue that the Constitution was not so clear, and then the courts have also not helped the process. The courts have actually made the process much grey.
Whatever the case, campaigns will always be a feature of Kenyan politics. It is almost impossible to stop campaigns. I mean, to have an arbitrary stoppage of campaigns enforced in this country.
But public policy expert Leonard Kafafa sees it differently.
And they help to execute the mandate of the president, the manifesto, so to speak. In the course of executing that manifesto, it is inevitable that there will be an interface with politics. So I think it clarifies, it does not set out any gray areas.
Lawyer Annabel Mwangi dissected this court decision on Section 23.
The way Section 23 is worded, it exempts cabinet secretaries and county executives who are political appointees from the stringent provisions captured under Section 23, so that your average civil servant cannot be seen to be campaigning to be taking a partisan position politically. When it is you in your official capacity using taxpayers' money, then your position is actually constrained, so that even the exemption that Section 23 gives you cannot be said to be absolute.
Public policy analyst and Progress Plus Alliance party leader Arnold Maliba says achieving neutrality is an uphill task. Why?
The process of appointing these people is political. It becomes difficult to actually play around with that. Of course, there was an attempt in 2013 to have an all-professional cabinet. But along the way, cabinet secretaries or other ministers across the world are actually political. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to enforce that.
While the Supreme Court ruling seemingly cleared them to engage in politics, their aggressive presence on the campaign trail now raises questions of fairness, neutrality, and whether state power is being weaponized in the looming elections. Maliba argues the real politics happens behind the curtains.
Unless our definition of who is playing politics is about the speakers on podiums, the ones who hold microphones, then probably we are not getting the definition properly. The strategists behind the politics as we see it are principal secretaries. Those are the people who are raising resources. Those are the people who are ensuring that the politicians, quote unquote, the mainstream politicians, are well-resourced, they are moving around.
Whatever the case, campaigns will always be a feature of Kenyan politics. It is almost impossible to stop campaigns. I mean, to have an arbitrary stoppage of campaigns enforced in this country.
As 24 by-elections in November and the 2027 general elections loom, cabinet secretaries, including those appointed from the opposition, such as Hassan Joho of Mining, Wycliffe Oparanya of Cooperatives, and John Mbadi of National Treasury, are already taking to the campaign trail.
2032 tukitaka tutapambana hapo.
The by-elections triggered by appointments, court decision and demise of legislators are also proving costly.
From the time the seats fell vacant, those constituencies cannot really be said to have enjoyed adequate representation in Parliament because there was no voice to speak on their behalf. Not entirely due to the president's fault, because you remember at PPLC, they could not agree on which names were being presented to sit in the committee that would result in the constitution of IEBC.
But the bigger question is, can Kenyans trust the ballot to be free and fair when government power is in play through economic empowerment programs and the growing call for regulation?
You can't regulate those, but the thing is to regulate the electoral systems, to have a system in place that ensures the integrity of the election. So that, in my view, is the bigger picture. These other things are just sideshows.
As Kenya continues the quest to build a robust electoral system, activations of early campaign mode has dotted every election cycle during periods not permissible by the Constitution. Laban Shaban, NTV.